All right, so I'm constantly looking at different materials and things for our community, and I got an email from a fellow named Ed Leder. He created it's called the LederEasel, and this was back in November, and I was just so busy especially through the holidays, and it seems like we're always busy with this art training and everything, and painting at the same time. It's just too much. So I saw the email and then I forgot about it because it was gone. But then recently I took a trip to Tubic for that 2-day painting workshop, and had my trusty French easel that I've had since I was 16, and just thought I had to buy this humongous suitcase to transport all my stuff, because the airports beat up art supplies. And they actually, here I'll show you what they did to my easel on a trip to, this is my first trip to San Diego for the Plein Air Convention. I've never had a piece on this break. And the airline, when they took all of my stuff out to look at it, they broke it. So I have this little chip. I can probably still glue it on. I have the piece. But they disheveled everything in my bag, looking to make sure something wasn't in there, I guess, and broke it. So I am constantly looking for something that might work a little bit better. I've gone through so many different easels. Here's this, I bought this one back in the 90s. This is one of the Soltech easel. And this was my original, this is the part that's down on the bottom that actually tightens up and keeps the thing from moving up, and so you can keep the panel from slipping out. Well, when I got it early on, it cracked right here by the tightening nut. And I thought, oh, that's a bummer. So I did this. I tried it back in the 90s to find a part for it, and I couldn't. The internet was so new and everything, couldn't find parts for it. And I called the company. They didn't have parts for it at the time. So I rigged up this stuff on here to try to keep it sort of tight. And I thought, because it seemed like the Soltech seemed like a pretty convenient easel, and overall it worked out well. Sometimes the legs were kind of jinky and weird, but overall it was all right. So recently, let's see, about 5 years ago, it might have been 10 years ago. I don't even remember now. I bought another part. I found on the internet where I could actually order parts. So I called them and I said, hey, this is the problem. They said, well, it's a little bit different than when you first bought it, I guess. They look exactly the same, though. So I spent another $50, bought the 2 parts again, and look at that. Right off the bat, the thing completely broke. It just busted. I don't know, maybe I'm doing something weird. It might be me entirely, because a lot of artist friends have used this and love the Soltech, but it did not work for me at all. So back to my trusty French easel, which I love the French easel. It was just sometimes grabbing something a little bit lighter and less cumbersome can be kind of fun. Hey Dan, good to see you on here. So that's just my tried and true, is the French easel. I've had it forever, and it's always worked great. I've been painting outdoors since the mid-'80s, and it's never failed me. Pretty much never failed me. So, but I decided, I keep seeing these artists with like pochade boxes and all that over the last 20 years. I thought, well, I'll give things a try. And especially since we started the art training with our huge community, we just want to find things because a lot of people, they just don't have they're getting up in years or whatever, and they don't have the wherewithal to want to carry a French easel everywhere, because they are big and they can be heavier than most things out there today. So I thought, well, I'll try things out. I tried out this other one here, this Sienna. It's really a beautifully, it looks nice. Let's see if I can get it open. It's a beautifully crafted, it's pretty, all that. I thought, well, this is kind of fun. Panel too, because within a very short time, I had it for I went out painting on location a half a dozen times or something with it, and just thought, no, I do not like having my paints right here in this little tiny painting area, right next to where my panel is. It's just, for one thing, let me switch back here. For one thing, I don't like to have to reach. There we go. Whew. All right, I didn't realize my phone was on Wi-Fi. Okay, so I don't like to have to reach up here because ever since art school days, I was taught, you put your arm straight out, and right there in the middle, that's kind of the middle of the panel. That's a great spot for me. I've always loved that. It's right here at my eyesight. I'm not looking up or down. I like that. So that's where I set up my panel. Well, I don't want my palette up at the same height as my panel. The whole thing just never appealed to me. Maybe it's because I've been painting so long with the French easel. I don't know what it is. But the pochade box is just not the thing for me. So I turned it into, instead, because at the time I hadn't made my own palette, and I was just using, I don't know, whatever I'd been using over the years. So I turned this into a little light palette, but then I finally decided, you know what? That thing is just way too small. I can't paint on that. So I made my own. Not this guy. This one's a lot nicer than that was the one I made. And it is heavy. It's 1/2 inch oak, and it really, I liked it when I finished making it. It's a great palette. It has a ton of room in there for mixing my paints, and then the 2 wings that come out on the sides for my brushes and everything else on there. But it was, I don't know, it weighs about 20 pounds. Not a good thing to put in a backpack. So one of our members sent me some brush holders over the holidays a couple of years ago, and they were so pretty. So I contacted him and said, hey, I just made this palette over here, and it's really heavy. I was wondering if you'd be interested in making me a palette that would be lighter and kind of the same idea. I really want a big palette. So he said, yeah, he'd love to. Michael Schlee is his name, and contact me if you're interested in a palette. He will make them for anybody. He's a beautifully talented woods craftsman. So he made this for me, and then that's kind of the thing I always tell people, happy painting, because that's what it is for me. But he put that on there without letting me know about it until I got it here. And the thing is just fantastic. He uses these little magnets for it to attach. See the little magnet here, little magnet down on here, they just attach and boom, they're stuck. And it works great. And I have tons of room for mixing my paints. Little thing for holding my brushes in place. So I love this palette. I love having a big palette, and it fits on the box that comes out, or the shelf that comes out on my French easel. Fits right on there, works out beautifully. All right, so now I started thinking in terms of when I went to do this Tubic workshop and carting all my stuff around. I had to get this a better suitcase than I had before for all my plein air stuff, because now I have this big palette, I've got a huge backpack, I've got all these things, and that doesn't bother me at all because I don't mind carting stuff around that way. But it definitely was heavier than most people are going to want to have. So when I got back, I just thought, you know what, I bet there's something out there that's probably going to work well, that hopefully will hold the palette that Michael made for me. And then I remembered this fellow Ed who sent me that email about a product that he just designed. And so to let you know about just designing it, I'm going to pull it out of the box here. All right, and look at this. I'll show you what we've got here. Oop. Switch over. There we go. Okay, so it comes, look at it, he's really done a great job. So I guess I called the fellow when I got back just to ask him questions, because I didn't want to order this easel and then not know. I wanted to have a little bit more information, because I have gone the gamut of some of these things, and I just am not a pochade box type of artist. But his comes, it's not a pochade type thing. He doesn't have an actual palette with it. Oh, look at that. This is packed in here beautifully. Look at that. And so far, looks like a well-designed piece of equipment. So I guess he was a designer for manufacturing companies, different high-end products. He did the designs for them. So as a designer, he decided he wanted to, this is from what I learned calling him, decided he wanted start painting again. And when he got to his first art class to go paint with people, he saw all these people using these little boxes, kind of like that one. And he thought, well, you know what? They seem really convenient. I could design something like that. So he designed his own, so he would have something to take to class with him. And it's called the LederEasel. And what it is this is the easel part. And this is just a thing for holding the palette. This one right here holds the palette. So it's really, look at that, it fits in that little tiny bag instead of this big giant French easel over here. I can fit that into a much smaller suitcase. And in fact, I can take that on my carry-on. And it's I'm hoping at least, he wasn't positive, but he thought that that little palette holder right there might hold my giant palette over here. That's what I'm hoping for. So Dan, if you've had any experience with this stuff too, Dan's another artist here in Muncie. He's been painting forever. Really talented artist. So chime in if you have some ideas about all of this. I've looked at so many different easels out there. Let's see, I'll turn it around while I'm talking to you. I've looked at so many different ones out there. I haven't ordered all of them, but I've, like going to the Plein Air Convention, great place to see products because they have them, a lot of the manufacturers are out there in the expo hall, and you can see all of that stuff. So that's been a great thing too for just checking out some of the products. And I have purchased like different types of panels and things like that just to see what is out there, what people are using. And, you know, I'm always open to anything that's going to help me do something more with my painting, or make it especially make it easier for our community, people in our community. We're really trying to get down to, I don't, if you notice on our site, we don't sell any of these products. We've had offers, you know, we could sell some and probably make some money from doing that sort of thing, but we don't. That's not what we're about. And we've got our art training stuff, but we really are just trying to find things that if they work for me, they're probably going to work for somebody else as well. And so that's all we're doing here. I'm not getting any kickback from any of these things that we talk about on here, and that's with intent. So with this LederEasel, so far this thing here, let me show you how this looks when it's put together. It's really pretty amazing design there. You just take and it's made of metal and hardwood. So these things, it looks like, they just slide, and your easel legs go into there, and then you just slide them, tighten them up, and you're good to go. It just hangs there on the easel, or sorry, on the tripod, like a photographer's tripod. And then these poles, they just slide into here. And these little things on here, they're just like rubber bands that you can move however you want to hold your stuff on there. Hey, Noreen, how are you? Yeah, I'll set it up right now, Noreen. Let me do that. So, let's see, I really need Christy in here to hold this for me. But I won't set it up exactly, but I'll get it kind of in here. There we go. Okay, so that's how it goes onto your easel, like that. And I would, well, you know what, I'm going to pull these all the way out so I can, sorry, you're going to get a little bit motion sick as I get this moved out. I'm sure I need this all the way out that I can. Let's see. Here we go. So okay. So this is one thing, and he told me to give him feedback on it as far as he's still tweaking the design. He can do all kinds of stuff with it. I mean, it looks really well built. I love the way this is all metal, and I love the way it slides in here. He's gotten a very clever design. It's metal on the out here as well. So, but what I see here right off the bat is that if I try to put it too far down, when it goes down this far from the legs, it comes and doesn't stay upright. It sort of does that, which tilts if you can see this, it tilts the arms down a little bit. So what I would have to do then, in order to have my palette straight up and down, is have the wood like this, to where the wood is braced against the legs of the tripod. See if I can do this all with one hand. That's kind of a testament to itself if I can do it with one hand. There we go. So that sets it up nicely. And then when so let's put this palette of mine, it looks super heavy, but as you can see, I did that with one hand. It's only maybe 4 pounds, something like that. So it's not a heavy palette, even though it's huge. Michael designed it with really light materials, and he designed it so nicely. All right, so if I can figure out how to get that so that it is wind resistant. I do have my orange screws that they just screw into the ground, super heavy duty, and they will keep my tripod from flying away. But I need to find a way to make my pallet so it does not fly away. But you can see that this thing is just beautiful. Such a nice pallet. I love this big space. So far, that holds up really well. Totally strong. I don't see any reason why that wouldn't hold there. I just need to make sure that nothing's going to take it and pop it off of those braces. And there's the thing. So what I would ask from him is to make those metal braces about 3 inches longer for me, and to make the wooden part about 6 inches longer, probably, or maybe even 8 inches longer, just because sometimes, I mean, this is about where it would sit even on my French easel. But if I could have it maybe 2 inches lower than that, that would probably be perfect for me. So, hey Cynthia, how are you doing? So those are some of the things that I would say there. Now with the easel, let's see what we can do here. This will be a little bit more complicated, I think, with one hand, but let me give it a shot here. There's one, and man, he really thought through this when it came to ease of storage and putting it all together. All right, let's see here. Wow, that's easy. All right. Look at that. I can do all that just with the one hand. And then it's got this, it's cut right there so that it holds onto this metal bar. This is all metal except for the wood there, the nice wooden cross brace. So really well designed there. And then these two parts, they clip together with this little thing, that little push-in thing right there. So I'll clip that together. And I've got it. Wait, is that correct? I've got it upside down. Ha! I was wondering why I didn't hear it click. There we go. Now it clips in. All right, just clips right in. Nice and easy. That's the little clip right there. So that's very handy. And then we just put the tripod quick release mount onto it, and it will set up right on here, just like that. Okay, so give me just a second here, and I will clip this on, and we'll go from there. All right, I should have put this together first, but I just got this in and thought, oh, I'll let everyone see as I unpackage it what this thing's all like. As you can see, it's pretty easy to figure out, obviously. Okay, I'm gonna get it attached into my tripod, and we'll be good to go. Oh, that figures. I forgot to do this part. So another one-handed, wow, look at that. One hand, and boom. So with two hands, this will be easy. Oh, you know what? I'm thinking I'm going the wrong direction. Let me figure that out. Oh, I've got it turned. Oh no, that's the right way. Okay. Well, hi, Lynn. I put wrist weights on my easel legs also. Oh, that's a good idea, Lynn. I like that. Okay, so there's the whole thing set up. We've got the, now, looks like pretty quick work to just move it up and down. And it looks like I could just do, if I was doing a smaller painting, like it looks like about an 8x10 maybe, I could use just the top brace right here without even connecting in the bottom part, because the little quick release is attached to this first part right here, and I can disattach the bottom part, not even have that on there. But I like to go out a lot of times and paint like a 20x24, 24x30 out on location as well. At least a 16x20, that sort of thing. So I like to have the two parts, but it's nice to know that if I'm doing a smaller piece, I could just attach the one. And then they have these, this is all metal. Everything is metal. The screws, except for the wood cross brace piece, all of this stuff is metal. And it says that it's 16 gauge. It is heavy duty. I cannot bend that with my fingers, which that's important to me. Those little aluminum things that just seem to bend too easy, don't like that sort of thing. But this looks like you could fit in even a canvas in there, or you can adjust it to where it'll fit just any size panel, 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch. That's really clever. I like that. And it's not obnoxious either as far as how much space. Let me grab a panel here. Here's a little, this is an 1/8 inch thick ABS plastic. This will kind of give you an idea of how far up these clips come. Oops, moved it again. There we go. So there we go. You can see, gotta loosen that. It's really not taking up a huge footprint on the panel either. Actually, probably, even with these little, this is what I use when I'm out on location, as you can see, these things right here, and I try to get it down to using very little of it, but this looks like it's not anymore, maybe less than what I would even have with my French easel. Bungee cord, clip to pallet. Yeah, I do have, in fact, I do that when it's on my French easel. I have a bungee cord on there, Lynn. Hey, Young, it's great to hear from you. Good to see you on here. I do have a bungee cord in there that I use for that, but it's just kind of, I think that would be a good thing. I just don't know how I would attach it quite yet. Haven't figured that out. At least I attach it well. So you can see though that, I mean, I haven't pulled it all the way down. That was just to give you an idea. But overall, looks like it's well designed and a strong one. So with a couple of tweaks like I talked about, especially with that pallet holder, making things a little bit longer, that would be great. And I like that the panel holder parts. Hey Petra, good to see you on here too. They're not so wide apart that I can't put, because I like to do little studies with the 6x8s when I'm out on location. And sometimes, like even on my French easel, I put a small, I'll show you what I did there. I put this in between those, I put a little screw right there, because I don't like it. I don't like my panel in here, in this part, because then I'm missing so much of the painting on the bottom and on the top, although I never use the top one because I have this thing. But on the bottom, I don't like it in there, and I don't like not being able to just go all the way down to my painting when I'm doing it. So I put a little screw in there just to hold like a 6x8 in place if I need it to, because that's too wide for a 6x8 if I do a vertical especially. So on this one looks like it would fit just fine with a 6x8, even vertical. So that's excellent. And it tightens down well enough that it will hold, I think, anything in place really well. So I like it. Otherwise, and one of the other things about it is it's only 100 $119, 120 bucks for a pallet holder and the easel like that. And it's such a convenient, I mean, he's got this bag. Oh, I didn't even show you that. Ha! The bag down here for carrying it all with a, look at that. It's got the handle. It's got inside it's got a shoulder strap right here inside. So I don't know why you necessarily need it. Well, actually, I guess they can be handy out on location. But this beautiful little bag here. So he's definitely a designer and knows what he's doing when it comes to that. He took his design out and had somebody else manufacture it for him. He just did the designing of it. So he really, that's a handy thing to know how to do. Yeah, good question, Lynn. How much are they? 120 bucks. You just can't beat that kind of price for for an easel that's made with this kind of materials. So there are a lot of different easels out there on the market, and they all have their pros and cons. So that's what I'm looking through right now. It's just which one do the pros outweigh the cons, and is it still going to allow me to paint the way that I like to paint when I'm out there? So this one seems like it will hold even a big, because I think it'll go up to like a 30-inch, at least a 30 or 34-inch panel or canvas while I'm out on location. So pretty much that's all I need today. So I can put just about any size thing I want on there. Let's see. I think that's it. I just wanted to show you what I was unpacking today. So it's called, I'll show you one more time. His name is Ed. It's the LederEasel. Ed Leder is his name. Or Leder. I'm not actually sure how you pronounce his name. But that's the easel. So I suggest you check it out. I am going to tell him, see if he can tweak some of the designs for me so that I have a little bit wider, especially on the part for my palette. Otherwise, I might try this out. I'm going to be down, I'm teaching a workshop in South Carolina here in a couple of weeks, but I'll also be heading out to the Plein Air Convention in San Francisco. So I'll give it a try when I'm out there. I don't know, I'm gonna have to do some real trial runs before I actually leave my French easel here. But that sure would mean make packing a lot easier for me. So I'll have to see how that works out. Like the palette, no doubt, Noreen. I think that palette holder, it is pretty convenient. And Michael Schlee is working on one for me as far as getting it so that I can do the same thing with the palette with this type of a setup. Because I was thinking about, I've seen those ones with the stick. In fact, I even tried to make one before I really knew much about those being out there. When I was making my palette, I bought some 1/4-inch oak plank to make my own kind of easel, sort of along this lines. But I just didn't want to take the time then to go through and try to figure it all out and find the hardware and all that sort of thing. It's not my field. So I gave up on that. But I have seen some, I think there's the Coulter easel. There's some different ones out there that are like that. They're just a stick, basically, and you slide the stuff up and down to hold your panel in place. That seems pretty convenient. I was nervous about how you keep them, though, from twisting when you're out there. I'm not sure how that works exactly. This one seems like it holds down so strong. I don't think I'm going to have any problem with that. So, looks good. Nice job, Ed. And I'll see if it's possible to make some of those tweaks so that I can adjust this palette exactly where I want it to go. All right. Well, everybody, it's good to have all of you on here. Dan, Noreen, Petra, all of you. It's great to talk with you. And keep me posted if you find something that you just think, wow, this has worked fantastic for me. I'd love to hear about it, because I'm always open to anything that'll help me to paint better, especially out on location. You know, when we're out there, sometimes we just have to go so fast. The light is changing, the storm is coming in, whatever it might be. It's nice to have something where we can set up and lickety-split and just be ready to go. So anything like that, let me know what you find out there. All right, hey, Young, it was really nice to see you on here as well. All right, we will talk to you, and sometime probably on Monday, I've got Panel Pack is sending me some more parts. I want to talk about that because I did get a couple of them. I bought one at the Plein Air Convention last year and it broke. And I want to show you kind of the differences, the reason why I use Panel Pack. That's another great product that I like. So I'll talk about that on Monday, I think. All right, you guys have a wonderful Saturday and happy painting, everybody.